Hello. This is episode 7 of Jen with 1N reviews Patron Saints. Today's episode was brought to you by Dutch Joan, who picked number 98. Page 98. The patron saint of catechism teachers. Saint Robert Bellarmine. Okay. Patron saint was born in 1542 and he died in 1621. His feast day is September 17th. So, Saint Robert Bellarmine put his tremendous intellect to practical purposes. He lived during the 16th century Counter-Reformation, when the Catholic Church tried to reclaim the souls it had recently lost to Luther, Calvin, and other leaders of the Protestant revolt, while clearing away the abuses and scandals that had gotten the Church into trouble in the first place. Now, okay, I know this is a book about patron saints, and I know this is written from a Catholic perspective. Souls lost from Protestant revolt. Leaders of the Protestant revolt. They didn't call it the Reformation, they called it the revolt. Now, you know that this is skewed. I mean, obviously it was skewed because it's written from the Catholic point of view. But I wonder why this book only cost me like $4. Anyway, he joined the Jesuits, the dynamic new religious order dedicated to preaching, writing, education, and the personal example of its priests and lay brothers. Oh boy. I wonder how good that's going to age. The Jesuits? Up and see how many Jesuit priests have been accused and or convicted of child problems of the abuse kind. Continuing. He hoped they would help him present the Catholic side of the argument in the most persuasive and attractive way possible. Okay. Bellarmine found that Catholics with a meager understanding of their faith were often easy targets for Protestant preachers. That's funny, because I find that Christians with a meager understanding of Christianity, of any faith, of any denomination, they're not really, how did he say, easy. I don't find them easy targets. I find them, just, they don't know what they believe. Most of them are like, it's like a familial thing, or, you know, you're raised Baptist because this family's Baptist. That's pretty much my story. It's not like I chose. My parents chose for me. Anyway, to correct the prevailing ignorance, I'm sorry. To correct the prevailing ignorance, he wrote 2 handbooks. One was short volume for children explaining the basics of Catholicism in an easy to understand way. Get them while they're young. The second was a guide for catechism teachers to help them better understand their faith and show them how to present it to young people compellingly. Oh my gosh. Does anybody else remember growing up, when you were in elementary school / middle school or junior high, whatever you happen to have where you're at, did your fellow peers get early dismissal one day a week to go to religious education? Because I specifically remember that happening in my city. And then after a while, they just gave everybody Tuesdays off at 2 o'clock. Blocks that way is the Catholic Church that all of the kids went for their religious education and for their Holy Communions and their confirmations. Does anybody else find this creepy? Like the first Holy Communion, the little girls are dressed as brides and the little boys are dressed as grooms. And then you could take your communion after you've gone through so many classes. And I grew up Baptist, so as soon as we decided to get baptized, we could take communion with the congregation. And here you see a confirmation of teenagers, and you see like their sponsor or I think it's their sponsor, parent, or whoever, actually holds their shoulder. It's like they're being inducted into this like Catholic family / society / weird thing. I always found it extremely weird. Congregation here actually has a school attached, like an actual K through 6. It used to be K through 8, but it K through 6 school. I digress. He tested his methods by serving as a catechism teacher in Rome and instructing Jesuit novices. Bellarmine's fundamental principle sounds simple, but it required hard work. If one understands the basis of Catholic doctrine drawn from the Bible and the writings of the early church fathers, one will be able to defend it. How early are we talking? Are we talking 10 years after the crucifixion and resurrection? Quote, crucifixion and resurrection. Or are we talking like 50 years later, 100 years later, 200 years later? Because the people who were the eyewitnesses weren't the people that wrote it down. And I don't think a lot of people who are Christian, of any faith, but the flavor of Christian, understand that. A lot of people don't. I know tons of people who don't. Okay. As a reward for a lifetime of service, teaching, and defending the faith. Why does the faith need defending? I mean, I find it pretty offending, but defense. As a reward for the lifetime of service, teaching, and defending of the faith, the Pope made Bellarmine his personal theologian, a cardinal, and the head of the Vatican Library. See, that would be cool. I've always wondered about like what's hidden in the Vatican Library. And given his love for reading and research, Robert Bellarmine, St. Robert probably appreciated his duties at the library the most. And his picture is on page 104. Right there. This guy. I thought saints were supposed to have like 3 miracles attributed to them, or is it just like this guy's like, oh, the Pope liked me, so I don't know. But I didn't hear any miracles coming from this guy. I mean, at least St. Kevin held a bird up, and I don't know. Anyway, that's all for St. Robert Bellarmine. and come back for number 8. See you later.